America didn't change because of the president. It changed because of one invisible man no one remembers today. They say time doesn't just pass. It remembers every choice, every whisper, every forgotten name leaves a mark somewhere in history. And today, on Neo Story, we turn that forgotten page. 1934, Pittsburgh. The city was gray and cold, its streets lined with empty factories and silent houses. The Great Depression had stolen hope from millions, leaving only worry and hunger. Families slept in freezing rooms, clutching each other for warmth. Work was scarce, survival was uncertain. And in the heart of it all was a man named Samuel Reed, a quiet railroad worker. Nobody noticed him, nobody expected him to matter. One evening, after a long, exhausting shift, Samuel was walking home through a foggy street. He noticed a small crowd gathered outside a locked steel factory. Voices were rising, angry and desperate. People were shouting, waving fists, some even trembling with frustration. Samuel slowed down, curiosity pulling him closer. What are we supposed to do now? A man shouted, "They've taken everything." Samuel looked around. He saw exhausted fathers, mothers holding crying children, young men whose hands were cracked from work, and older men who had given decades of their lives for nothing. His chest tightened. He knew that feeling, the sharp, cold sting of having no one to turn to, the hopelessness that crushed dreams. For a long moment, he stayed silent, just observing. Then, almost quietly, he spoke. "Maybe the world doesn't change because people like us stop believing it can." The words were soft, barely audible at first. But someone repeated them, and then another. Within minutes, a murmur spread through the crowd. Eyes, once filled with despair, now glimmered with something fragile, hope. By the next morning, Samuel's accidental leadership had grown. Dozens became hundreds, hundreds became thousands. Workers marched peacefully through streets, carrying signs, singing songs, and demanding fair treatment. Mothers walked with children in their arms. Veterans in their old uniforms joined silently. Nobody thought they could make a difference, yet somehow they did. The newspapers ignored them at first, politicians sneered. Yet the pressure mounted quietly, but relentlessly. Small victories turned into large ones. Secret meetings were held, threats were whispered. And behind it all, Samuel continued to walk at the front, not out of ambition, but because he couldn't turn away from injustice. Slowly, the world took notice. What began as a few angry workers had ignited a movement that would push the government to act. And in 1938, the Fair Labor Standards Act was passed, establishing minimum wages, limiting working hours, and protecting the most vulnerable workers. Millions of lives changed, yet Samuel's name remained absent from history books. He walked home one evening after the law passed, unnoticed by reporters, uncelebrated, but quietly proud. No statues, no accolades. Just the knowledge that one ordinary man had, through courage and a single quiet voice, changed the course of a nation. Moral of the story: real change doesn't always come from power. Sometimes it begins with an ordinary person who chooses courage over comfort and refuses to stay silent when it matters most. History is built on the footsteps of people the world forgets. But here on Neo Story, we make sure their voices live on. Until the next untold chapter, stay curious, stay human.